Hello and welcome, or welcome back to those returning. Just to take a moment, we're just cleansing and smudging the space. We've already got the Daily Dharma uploading as we speak, and that will be a message not for everybody, so I decided to do a secondary reading. I'm using the Akashic Tarot, and this deck seems to have some type of bearing on some past, present, future, concurrent timelines, past lives, whatever you belief system you subscribe to. I will call it timelines, just talking about this. And so we've recent months had from the Return to Spirit deck, which I'll go ahead and as I reveal the cards already laid out on the table from the Akashic Tarot, I'm going to take some Return to Spirit cards and clarify, because we've had a lot of, especially when I first started using this deck, we got two cards that kept coming out together. Right, with a W, as in writing out things, and right order, as in the correct or proper, or however you define that, just with the RIGHT, right order. So whether we're correcting something through our writing or doing some type of healing or documentation or otherwise, I think that something in our lives is intricately connected to this message today. So actually, I'll reveal the cards all as one and then we'll clarify all together, because I like to just keep on going when I start shuffling. So the first three fell face down and the next three came face up in a stack, so only the top one was showing. So I found it interesting how these were laid out. We had the first pile, number 12, Major Arcana, the Scribe. We have this hunched over individual in the foreground at this high desk, perhaps consolidating the notes from this higher council. Number 12 reduces to a 3, some type of creation, co-creation. And it seems to me with that 12, this can also be some type of longer standing patterning where you've been an understudy or learning the ropes or developing some type of thing that you've documented, such as your spiritual observations, mediumship, or somehow in your workplace or so on. You've been gathering a lot of knowledge and it's been written now into your aura. The downloads and uploads and all of these intricate interwoven interactions that you've experienced while here and there and everywhere, astral and otherwise, has been accumulated into your auric field and shield and being applied, I believe, here. So the next card in this big fallout is the Seven of Scrolls, the suit of air, swords, or so on. Intricacies and industry. So the intricacies of things that have been learned and applied here. They're building some type of chapel or something. There's a person in the foreground and somebody behind. But I forgot almost to say, so in the foreground, there's this set of scrolls, whether they be seen as blueprints, instructions, or some type of foundation or a plan that you've been, a vision that you have perhaps channeled, maybe even cosmically, however you feel, or from the higher powers or whatever, your higher self. And you've got these plans, and whether they've kind of been growing, shifting, and changing as you've gone through different situations. I'm seeing here, this is more like the job. So there's this sacred gathering of experience, that north node questing and the south node really putting a lot of sacred knowledge into your Akashic banks, and really funding your future in this way so that you can apply and build something. And it looks like you've already set up quite the foundation here. There's a bit of a a chapel, a calling card, something, becoming known for something in particular, having this archway portal and the window indicating, and the chapel or something indicating. Oh, I just saw the lights flash. I don't know if that came through or not. But so to me, it's almost like indicating to passersby of what material and what energy is being called forth and held space for and being created here with this foundation. And so, something about that calling card and starting to, whether you're doing a brick and mortar unveiling of some type of long held vision, or like beginning an industry, beginning even a social movement, or some type of a um, social media interaction. The brick and mortar can sometimes be less material in that we can now use the internet and the and reach far and wide with something. And so the brick and mortar in that case would be less tangible and would be like your various landing pages, maybe getting that website situated and building a site that way. You'll understand if you need to there. But the seven is like, yes, seven is the number that was coming through so many ways earlier before I went online the first time. Something about the seventh son of the seventh son was in this movie called The Seventh Son with Jeff Bridges I watched last night. There goes another flash. And then today, in reading something, there were so many sevens coming up, and it was a biblical text, and it was like the seven this, the seven that. Even the movie Seven was knocking on my awareness about the seven deadly sins, or so on. Anyways, so seven to me seems like the awareness of the good and the evil, so to speak, the duality, the unity consciousness. Because especially here next we have the 13. Notice we have the 12 moving to the 13 in one little pile. The Buddha prepares, sitting in deep meditation. This to me is the private practice, the transmutation of one's own judgment, inner higher awareness, and the application into the self purification process, the decluttering, the sacred ordering of things in one's life or in one's mind, and an auric field. Like, what will we hold space for? So the next three cards coming up, I found first the Seven of Keys is the Earth, the Pentacles suit here. This artist with the, by light of candle, with all of these creations and sculptures, and there's a story here, and it could go many different ways. I don't know how many I want to talk about, but maybe a longing for a romantic conquest, or for perfection, the longing for a partner one didn't have, or is he a widower, or is he someone who longs for love but doesn't understand that life is being lived right outside his window here, you know? And so there's this crescent moon. It says increscent moon, which, I mean, looking at it, it appears to be the closing cycle towards the new moon, but I'm not positive in this case. Um, yeah, it's all subjective, is it not? But so there's something here about creating in your own private time, making space for the balancing hobbies to also be done, the artistry that happens with applied industry here, creating something or co-creating something for self with the influence of your vision, your inner artist's eye, and your ability to channel from higher counsels, perhaps seemingly than self, and to apply that to something, feeling that you're preparing for something quite transformative, where you will need to integrate something incredible, and that maybe you're feeling that you will be in contact with many, many individuals for a higher good, or at least believing one to be on that pathway of purification and leading others perhaps back to their own purification. Maybe you are one who guides meditations or does something spiritual in that way, a healer of some manner. But whether you're writing, drawing, creating space in some type of other way, co-creation and building can happen in so many various capacities. It's like we're being offered here to look out the window too, because inspiration is everywhere around us, not just in the mind's eye. So to not shut out the earthly realms, because there's a lot of sacred inspiration and activation that happens in real world spaces and places. And so don't only just call others towards you, but also go out and see what the elements we cannot control can delight and inspire us through unexpected activations. 6 of keys, and the sacred keys is free will and activation of the solar plexus, creativity, and the assertion of our inner masculine. So the next 2 cards were the Queen of Forces, this balancing light and dark. Remember, we had the increscent moon, and then here it's almost like the full moon, and there next we have the karmic trench, the 4 of scrolls. So I wanted to bring them all 3 out because it seems to me that this is, let me get them all in my hands here. It seems to me that this is what we're being shown is being balanced in our lives, our application of our creative inner, our inner inspiration versus external inspiration being applied to our creation of our vision with spirit. And here we stand in the middle, balancing that with old approaches, old patterns, various experiences and learning of whether it's faith or confidence or belief in our power or capacity, or learning how to apply our sacred force and our sacred knowledge into something that maybe hasn't been done before. Maybe we're really digging and carving the way, but there's something here about the the rebalancing and the stability, creating of stability here with 4 of scrolls following the 7 of scrolls. 4 is foundation, 4 legs under a table. So it's like we're being told to be creative in the application of how we integrate both light and dark, the above and below, the correspondence here between the acknowledged and the potential, and the inner awareness and the outer evidence, and to not get caught up in appearances, that we're in the process of bringing something fully into our capacity. It's like we may even kind of have been lost a bit in the doing of something without really preparing ourselves on the emotional level. It's like we've been doing so much work. Can we see that it's almost here? Can we see that the journey is where we're supposed to enjoy? Because once we get there, there will be another row to hoe. It's like, you sometimes have to set your seed and then keep rowing and doing your thing here. There's some type of balancing of the way that we've applied something, or the way that we saw something coming into fruition, the balancing of some kind of karmic patterning. And so then I split the deck below. On the very bottom, under this deck we've just talked about with that Queen of Forces, we've got this winged messengers with the 2 of roses. Now this being an emotional roses, the cups suit, and there's some chipped china that I wasn't aware of previously in reading this card, but it's like setting the stage for a personal emotional connection here, being part of this karmic issue here, whether it's the appreciation and acknowledgement and awareness and deep connectivity with the one-to-ones you've already got, or whether it's being in a feeling of scarcity of love or unmet potential or something. There's this balancing of our own inner process that maybe we have had situations that have been projected from us and to us that have been perpetuated in this karmic trench, is where we're starting to understand how to, you know, set the table for success in our personal situation. Somehow that is coming out on my right hand side. But on this left hand side, it appears the other areas of the life. So we've got this inner romantic situation that's either deepening your awareness of and navigation of your personal, emotional, psychic waters, and the sharing of that on the one-to-one basis with deep friendships, deep partnerships, and so on, and deep partnerships with your true guiding light and your higher self, etc. So yeah, really integrating a lot of power, balancing and setting the stage for something quite productive, waiting for the harvest over here. And so on the left hand side here with the scribe, then our work with industry, the nuances that go between the two of those, what we're learning from industry and what we're applying from self, and then preparation with the Buddha. So we've got 3 cards. It came out firstly with the willow on the bottom, and then I went to split it to this card, but this one stayed into focus. So we've got the willow under the scribe. No, I set that the other direction. The willow comes below the Buddha prepares. 5 of scrolls, diversity, underneath the intricacies and industry. And the 5 of forces, this summer and winter, coming under the scribe. So you've already toiled quite a bit. You've had a lot of I'm seeing the summer and winter as harsh and fulfilling and restorative experiences in life, and this has led you to understand quite a diverse amount of information about humans in general, and life and love and the mysteries of life per se. And this individual is I see almost like one individual, more of the work, and this could be aspects of self or a situation or individuals we're talking about, whether it was modeled behaviors or your own or this karmic situation here. It seems somewhat related. Then we have this other individual here, perhaps the philosopher, the muse, the co-creator, and okay, I started to say this earlier and it escaped the attention another time. When I first saw this card, this individual has all these blueprints or whatever all over in the grass here, but it looked to me like this basket of scrolls was sitting in a pool of water, and I thought the scrolls are going to get damaged. So I'm not sure what bearing that has on the situation, but it's almost like somebody's got their head so far down at work and possibly so far up something else that they're overlooking something. And maybe this is us understanding the urge of the collective to push us to produce and to earn. And to earn is a very curious word as well. Then the Buddha doesn't work, right? The Buddha does sacred work. And so there's this ability to understand human nature, the intricacies, the industry of the matrix, perhaps even, and the sacred knowledge here, and to apply our life experience and to really get prepared to set something up in the next level of what we're being called into. So maybe you have a new opportunity, such as, the creation of some type of personal industry or entrepreneurial side hustle, whatever, or just your own ability to do something quite sacred and spiritual. We've got this willow, the two of forces under the Buddha prepares. And look at how illuminated, and it's just glowing. So this may be one of your tree totems. It definitely speaks to me. And the willow is always a sign for me of both healing, restoration, rejuvenation, sort of like a phoenix. You can cut the willow tree off, and if it has all of its sources intact from below, this thing will re-thrive. It will just create a whole new umbrella. You can stick one of its branches, which are so wispy and whatnot, and put it into water, and it reroots immediately. It's just that restorative. And so it's talking about, it's like this Buddha doesn't need all the word accoutrements keeps coming up. It was repeating earlier in my head. Accoutrements, like the adornments of the evidence of earnings, the evidence of reputation, and so on. It's like we are valuing here something more subtle and more personal. And if you haven't already taken the advice to, I do believe that journaling is one of the primary things that we're being called to do, and to recall our dreams. I am recalling my dreams. And the more I intend it, the more they step forward. And at first, without judgment, I missed more days in the middle than I do now. And now it's every day. Every day I can recall something. And these are messages and symbols that are speaking to us and through us. And so even the most random stuff, writing it down, sharing it with the individuals that presented themselves in the dream, perhaps. Yes. So our dreams are also preparing us. Our visions are preparing us. And as we journal, we're creating some type of methodology, some type of documentable process and procedure and enlightenment or something. And it doesn't need to be for us. It just is. There's something about the written word that, first of all, it takes belief, it takes interpretation, perception, and our truth, and it brings forth our literal life force energy. And as we then create something, the more concrete, the more it endures, then this is us creating reality. And so to write our highest held dreams uh, creates a lot of power and momentum if we can align our emotions and our beliefs in such a way to hold that vision, to co-create that vision. So if you have another type of a platform that you are um, ascending, your spiritual throne, the throne of your inner power, insight, self-belief, or emerging somewhat more socially, coming out of the room and out into the world and being like, here I am a priestess after all. This queen of forces is somebody who's powerful, energized, fiery, charismatic, sensual, like the Renaissance woman that has skills in many different forms and has different insightful, spontaneously inspirational intuitions that can come out to heal the masses just by utilizing our charisma. And so if the karmic trench is somewhat of subtly restraining ourselves from either interacting or speaking or writing or creating or being seen as who we are, it's time to bring forth our energy to see and to be seen in some type of a way, um, to take seriously our personal engagements and relationships in a powerful way as well. So here we are. It took a long time to get that out, and I haven't clarified. So let's quickly go through with the intricacies, industry, the scribe, and the Buddha. With this diversity, you're honoring your own diversity and the diversity of the world, becoming more worldly, as we said, and this being something that restores something in you. Okay, we have the Union card here coming through. Underneath immunity, your ability to be to set and hold this sacred space within your own vessel, your own unity consciousness, and your efforts, even if there's deviations or, any transgressions, your integrity and your effort and your intentionality is helping you to prepare for your own enlightenment journey. And your documentation here is perhaps even going to help you. Two things I was going to say to help you to even see the evidence of shift that you might not see if you hadn't documented it. It's like when the water gets turned up on the frog, it first feels nothing and it's just right at the same temp, and it doesn't notice the escalating temperatures, slow but steady. But then also to witness and open ourselves to our mediumship capacity here. So union with a higher power in some type of a way is stepping through. It's preparing us for some type of ability to be the voice or the sacred scribe of something incredible that's needing to step through and assist the collective at this time. So there's this higher council trying to speak through you, or perhaps has already started to speak and work through your hands as you set this sacred space, as you build this sacred space within your own self, the temple of self. And anything further about the preparation, timing, or so on? Anything further? All right, we'll take that. Okay, interesting. Okay, we have starseed coming through, and then faith and frequency shift on the bottom, being able to catch the golden snitch here, to catch the golden ticket to our mediumship, to create that unity moment. So yeah, the journaling or whatever you're doing, your faith in the process, in your daily efforts and so on, is assisting you to really embody this frequency shift and perhaps channel something from other realms, dimensions, angels, starseed, ascended masters, God, life, your higher self, however you see it. Many of us will resonate with feeling somehow connected with other timelines and other entities, energies, archetypal energies, be it whatever it may be. But there's a purification and a healing capacity here in a sacred space that's creating through us, even if it's our ability to hold space energetically for others that is coming through there. So let's see over here, this Queen of Forces balancing the light and the dark. Seeing Apollo and it starts with an N. Anyways, the goddess of the night. I'm hearing all these other goddess names. Anyways, I want this one. Return of Spirit. Gorgeous, with rejuvenation under the deck. So I see this, yes, coming back fully online. Remember, we're talking about how awakened and charismatic she is. She is almost like this returning of spirit into, it could even be rebuilding some type of place where individuals gather to connect information, to get some sacred work done, to meditate together or to heal or worship together or something else here with all of these things and energies coming through. And with diversity, it's definitely about making sure to work together instead of setting anyone apart, however polarized we could all become. It's about this Queen of Forces here is able to be the diplomat and to embody the diversity and to speak with grace and not accusation, blame, or judgment. And she brings this return of spirit to some type of energy engagement, and this may be yourself, your own spirit returning to self, calling you forward and into a new rejuvenation with that willow energy here again, to speak your sacred artistry, to bring your art, your writings, your channelings forward, to give voice to some higher power and insight, to break everyone out of their karmic trenches. And as you do this, you are standing in your full integrity. Maybe you're even a musician, or maybe this is music to other individuals' ears or third eye. Here, this integrity is the winged messenger I'm seeing. And being able to, with our soul harmonics and resonance, speak to other individuals and to help them to reveal their own inner artistry, their own co-creatrix, and their ability to shine light into this world and to increase their own light quotient. So you are activating others and others are activating you. So get out there and love big. Music remains in the bottom of the deck. It's all about soul harmonics and singing our praises, lifting others up with the light of our love, perhaps. So take care, and we're out of time. So I hope you got something out of that. Do check back next time. So until next time, take good care and be well.